So how can you love a God that you fear? This is a question that came up, and I tried to give an answer when I was asked, but I thought about it for a week, and I think I have a better answer. So the first thing I would tell people is if you don't like the word fear, if that concept doesn't work for you, don't use it, okay? Use something else. But you don't have to use the words that are given by our culture or the biblical words if it doesn't work for you, okay? Now, I think the problem comes from when people separate God and the natural world. So we see in our culture, on TV, and the way it's portrayed in pictures and everything like that is that there's God, who's in the supernatural world, metaphysical world, and then there's the natural world, the earth. And that's not God. So we always ask ourselves, is there a God? Meaning, is there something outside of the natural world? But if you're in a monotheistic religion and you understand that we don't separate God and the natural world, and the reason why we don't separate it is because God is all, including the natural world, and that the natural world is one type of expression that God has. Okay, we can get into why is there a natural world and why is there a supernatural world. All I'm saying is that people who believe in God don't separate God from the natural world. Number two, an atheist, they're the type of people who separate the two. So for them, there is a separate natural world and metaphysical world. Now, once you know that, or you believe that the natural world is not separated from the supernatural world, you're okay with being fearful of things that can go wrong in the natural world. So if I love to drive, I love to drive, but I am very fearful of going 150 miles per hour. Because if I go under 150 miles per hour on the highway, number one, I can get arrested, but more than that, I can get killed. I can kill people. So, and I don't separate God and the natural world. The natural order, the order of physics and nature is there to help me, but I have to follow its rules in order to be okay. So having a healthy fear built into us is good. So we can understand that you can still love the world. The world is beautiful. It has wonderful trees and wonderful, there's so many things about this world that is good, but you need to have a natural fear of things that can happen and violating the law, the natural law. If you jump out of a 20-story building, that's a big problem. But if you believe in God, you believe that there is something beyond the natural law, and there is supernatural law. If you don't believe in God, you believe that there is no supernatural law, there's just natural law. And by the way, people who say that they don't actually believe in supernatural law follow a lot of those supernatural laws, but that's for another time. But when you violate a law that is supernatural, above nature, meaning it doesn't mean that you are violating nature, you're just violating something above nature. So if you were to steal something from somebody and not get caught, you are not violating natural law because you didn't get caught, but you're violating supernatural law. If you embarrass somebody, you're not violating natural law, but you're violating supernatural law. Now, here's the key. Breaking supernatural law has consequences, has serious consequences. You don't necessarily see the consequences right away.
In all my years as a clinical psychologist, and this is something that really does terrify me, I have never seen anyone ever get away with anything at all, even once. Well, and maybe you disagree. Maybe you think people get away with things all the time. I tell you, I've never seen it. What I see instead is that thing happens, right? Someone twists the fabric of reality. And they do it successfully because it doesn't snap back at them that moment. And then like 2 years later, something unravels. And they get walloped and they think, oh my God, that's so unfair. And then we track it. It's like, well, what happened before that? This. Well, and then what? This. And then what? This. And then what? Oh, this. Oh, that's where it went wrong. It's, because you can't twist the fabric of reality without having it snap back.
In this life, violating supernatural law comes with serious consequences. And it's not just for a person. If countries violate human rights or do terrible things or are godless, there are terrible consequences. So if there are terrible consequences to violating supernatural law, isn't it good to have a healthy fear of supernatural law? That it's not, the fear is not, that's not something bad for us, but it's good for us so we don't suffer those consequences. And supernatural law is the way it needs to be, just like natural law is the way it needs to be. One of the things I think when people are thinking about fear God, that's all powerful, they're thinking of a capricious dictator or an evil person. That not like God is not something that, or someone that is out to get you or to be bad for you. When I say fear it means fear both natural and supernatural law. And the reason is that so that you stick to the rules that God set out, and then you have a much better life.